Hello everyone, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Today, we're going to continue the discussion on linguistics. We're going to take a look at these questions. Last week, we have discussed the answer to the question, what is language? And today, we're going to answer, what is linguistics and why should we study linguistics? I hope you still remember the definitions of language. If so, can you please arrange the nature of language or the definitions of language based on these words? I believe that you are already familiar with the sound or with this word, arbitrary. Yes, arbitrary means there is no relationship between the word and the object it symbolizes. So, if you arrange these words to define language, then you will have this definition. Language is a system of oral, auditory, arbitrary symbols used habitually by humans to communicate and interact with each other. Now, what does it mean when we study linguistics? When we study linguistics, we deal with sounds, structure, and meaning. When we study sound, we study the phonetics and phonology. Phonetics concerns with human speech systems or human speech sounds, and phonology deals with human speech patterns. The two are similar but differ. The two are similar but they are quite different. The two discuss about sounds, but the second one talk about the pattern, the structure of sounds. The next one is structure. When we talk about structure, we talk about morphology, structure of words, how the words are formed, and syntax, the structure of clauses, and how the clauses are formed. And then, what is language without meaning? Language without meaning is meaningless. We study meaning in semantics and pragmatics. We study the meaning of words in semantics and the relationship between lexical items. In pragmatics, we study meaning within the context. And we have other branches of linguistics, interdisciplinary ones, because we also take account other disciplines when analyzing language through these perspectives. The first one is sociolinguistics. As the name suggests, sociolinguistics deals with society and language. So, our language, our use of language, carry our social identity, and in sociolinguistics, we are interested in analyzing language and analyzing how social factors influence language. Next one, psycholinguistics. Psycholinguistics deals with mind and language. So we cover how you acquire your first language and second language in psycholinguistics. We also talk about some speech errors like slip of tongue. Are you familiar with that? Next, stylistics. Stylistics deals with language and style, as the name suggests. So, if you have read poems, then you can see that the writer or the poets use some styles in their language. They use some figurative language, or they constructed the sentences in quite different ways. In this example, we can see simile or explicit comparison. So words are compared with honey. They are two different things, but they share similar items. They share similar characteristics, that is tasty. So that's what we're going to learn in stylistics, how the language is used to convey, how style and language works. So that's what we study in stylistic. We study how style and language works. And next, historical linguistics. Historical linguistics deals with language change. So it deals with the origin of our language, the relationship between languages like English and also German language are related. Indonesian and Tagalog are related. And we study the family tree of these languages in historical linguistics. Okay. The first one is prescriptive approach. So when we look at language through this approach, we tend to prescribe rules governing what people should or shouldn't say, like don't split infinitives, don't use double negatives. It's like when we are studying grammar. But linguists should take this approach, descriptive approach. So it describes the rules that govern what people do or what people can say. Like in English, the sound can end a word but not begin it. In English, adjectives precede the nouns they modify. So we don't say whether one thing is wrong or right, but we describe it, and also we explain the phenomenon. Okay, so that's about prescriptive and descriptive. Now, when we study language, we can study language at a particular point of time. So it is called synchronic linguistics. And we can also study language from time to time. We study how language changes, or we call it diachronic linguistics. And why should we study language? Why should we study linguistics? There are some possible reasons. I'm just gonna mention 4. First, language awareness. By developing our language awareness, we are able to be more aware of the language we use and to whom we are using our language. Language teaching. So linguistics deals with the science of language, and education deals with how we teach, the method of teaching the language. We can help our students to understand or to describe some language questions. For example, which one is the right one, tomato or tomato? Both are correct depending on the accent you use. And language acquisitions, in linguistics, we learn why do babies say ma 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 and ba 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 instead of hamburger, or psychoanalysis. Language and literature. We also answer how language is used in literary works, how some lexical items are chosen rather than others. So, I think that's all from me today. Thank you very much. See you next time.